Hi everyone, and welcome back to our YouTube channel. We're as always your hosts,
Arne and Carlos.
and we are back with yet another fun knitting episode today. We do have to start by apologizing to all of you. We are filming from a hotel in Oslo.
Yeah, this is not our house.
It's not our house, and we never thought of bringing, beautiful things to decorate the room with. So, I think we should have brought paintings and some beautiful textiles and maybe some other chairs and, all that.
Well, we have the curtain, the same as home, but we don't have the same view. It's not a lake out there.
No, and then Arne called Anna in panic this morning and said, bring a tablecloth.
Yeah.
So we've got a beautiful tablecloth from Anna's family.
Yes, but
Anyway, sorry about that, but that's the way it is today. Anyway, Arne.
we're not going to talk about the interiors anyway. We're going to talk about the polar bear sweater because some of you have already seen that I've been working on the polar bear sweater. Those of you who have been on the knitting cruise with us, I have worked on the sweater for a while now, and the pattern is out. And this is made by Rowan.
Well, we've designed it for Rowan.
Yeah, and they knitted it. And in England, they do everything flat. So this one is sewn together. So what we are doing is actually we're knitting the same sweater, but we knit it on the round.
Mm-hmm.
So that's this one. And we still have some faces to sew on. But the body is now finished. It's a little bit bigger than the other one because this is a volume we like. And what we will show you today is that when you have the volume and you have finished, you have the body and the right volume and you have the sleeve. What we do when we finish the sleeve is that we turn it inside out like that, and then we do a little placket. So we just knit stockinette
on the round
for
a few rounds,
or like 8 to 10 rounds, because when we talk about steeking, when you cut the garment, a lot of people think that steeking is only for jackets, but steeking is also the armhole.
Yeah, because you're knitting it on the round as let's call it a sausage or something, right? It's on the round. And so at some point you will need an armhole here.
Yeah, so
that's where the steeking comes in.
So that's when you find the depth of the armhole, and then you mark it, and then you use the sewing machine and you sew down and up again, and you cut it, and then you can sew together parts of the sleeve. But that's another story. We can probably show that later when we have finished the sleeves and cut it. But now you have to knit the facing.
Yeah. So if I was just going to ask you a quick question on it. So for example, I love this bear sweater, polar bear sweater, and in the it's our design for Rowan, but the pattern is written by Rowan, and traditionally the British love knitting in pieces and then seaming it together. So when I see that and I look at the pattern and it says cast on this many stitches for the one side, is all I need to do multiply that by 2 and then knit it in the round?
You have the number for the front and the back and just put those two together.
Yeah, and that's how you start it.
And then you also have to think about the balance of the pattern. So you will normally have one polar bear in the middle of the sweater and also one in the back. So something will happen. And you see on this one, which is sewn together, you see there's something happen in the side.
Yeah, in the center.
So like this one, you have 2 polar bears close to each other.
Yeah.
On ours, which is a little bit wider, the same happen, but it happens because you just follow the pattern. So on this one, there's a bigger polar bear in the middle.
Okay. You've added a few,
so
its head a little wider. So effectively, you don't really even have to follow the pattern. You just use your chart. And if you, for example, have a favorite sweater that has a great volume, you could use that for...
This is actually based on the volume on something I found in a thrift store, which I like. It is a little bit smaller than the thrift store sweater because of the colorwork. So I checked on the original, and I think I lost about 2 centimeters altogether on both sides compared to the other one. But it's still a very oversized sweater, so it doesn't do a lot.
Yeah.
I'm just checking when I do the sleeve that the sleeve is long enough.
That's the thing. So anyway, that's a good thing to know, that you don't really need I mean, you can translate or change the pattern the way you want to knit it, if it's flat or if you want to do it in the round.
Yeah.
It is doable.
As long as it's not like an intarsia sweater with a motif on the front,
Yeah,
then
there's
you
no point.
have to do it flat. But also the sweaters we are wearing are also knitted in pieces by Rowan. But this can easily be knitted on the round.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's also a dropped shoulder.
Just like this one's going to be.
Just like this one. But what you need
and this one too, actually.
Yeah, that's also a dropped shoulder. But what you really need to do is you have to, when you finish a sleeve, turn it inside out, do that little piece of stockinette so you have something to fold over the raw edge from when you cut the armhole open.
Yeah.
So
I believe that this is going to be my task.
That's probably your task. And then I can show you another very important thing.
I'll just do the stockinette here while Arne shows.
Yeah. So what's really important when you do actually all kinds of knitting is that when you have long floats like on the polar bear's face, you have to carry the floats. And also on this one you have a lot of white stitches here between the heads, in between those the little pattern. This is something also used on old Norwegian pattern called the Dovre jacket. So when we did our Christmas ball book, we used this pattern and we called it the Dovre pattern.
Is that Prince Harald's jacket?
He also had that when he was a kid.
Yeah, the current king of Norway was wearing that sweater when he escaped.
Yeah.
When the Nazis occupied Norway. Yeah. So very, very important sweater historically speaking. So anyway, I am gonna continue doing my.
Yeah, then you can do that, and then I can just show you the important the way we carry the floats, because that is very important, and especially on this one because there's a lot of white, and like now I have this long line of white stitches, and what we do is we never knit more than 3. Sometimes you do 4, but normally we stick with 3 stitches in white, and then we're going to carry the gray. So we keep an eye on the yarn. If it starts to be tangled, we go the opposite way, and we let the yarns go, and we twist them, and then we just knit 3 more, and then again you carry the float again like this. And you knit. But what you have to be careful with is that if you see where you carry the floats, if you have to carry the float the next time, you have to stagger it. You don't carry the yarn between the 2 stitches on a parallel line, because then you will see the gray popping through. Okay?
Yep.
So I think that's the most important thing. That also is if you knit it flat, you also have to carry the floats on this one, because it's not knitted like in Tarsia, it's knitted back and forth with the colors all the time. And then when you know that, you can do anything
you want.
And we also keep the yarn we use the most is on the finger, and the other one is loose. So we change depending on what we use most in the pattern.
And I've been knitting away, and you know me, I can't multitask, so I get quiet and I focus on this. So I have not really followed.
But there's not much more to say now. I think we can, maybe we can come back later and show you when we open the armhole. And we also have to shape the neck, the curve in the neck. So then if you finish that one, and I can continue with the sleeve. Soon we have a polar bear sweater.
Our own version of the original polar sweater that we have designed for Rowan. And you can get the pattern for this sweater at arnecarlos.com in our web shop. The pattern will be written the Rowan way, which is knitted in pieces and then sewn together. It is something that gives a really good fit, but Norwegians in general will stay away from purling, because you know when you're knitting pieces, you're knitting back and forth. And Norwegians, they'd rather knit it in the round and steek, because then they don't have to purl the colorwork, which Norwegians actually really hate.
It's quite boring to purl colorwork.
Yes, I agree.
So if I can knit on the round, that's what I prefer.
And you know, with knitting, and when you're making your garment yourself, you have a lot of freedom. So if you want to change the way you are doing it, it is really up to you. And then what you do is you use the tools that are given to you, like the charts, and you work on the charts the way you're supposed to, but then you find your way of knitting it. And I think that by doing it that way, you get a lot of joy and enjoyment during your knitting, and the results probably will still be just as good as if they were done the way that the pattern says. So do try to break the rules a little bit, try to stray a little bit from the pattern if you feel confident enough, and we're sure it will be very rewarding.
I think that's it, Carlos, because I can't knit and talk at the
Yeah,
same
me
time.
neither.
This pattern is quite complicated.
But now you got me hooked, because now I'm doing the knitting on the round and I feel very hooked. So I am gonna let you
Okay, so
do
I
the
can finish.
formalities.
So if you like our videos, put your thumbs up, and if you are a subscriber, put on the notifications, because then you won't miss an episode. And you can also become a member, then you will get some shenanigans.
Yeah, and additional content
Yeah.
available in the members area of our YouTube channel, Arne Carlos. So make sure to go and check that out. You'll find the button, the join button next to the subscribe button. And yeah, we've been open now for members for over a year, which means there's a lot of content there for you to enjoy in addition to what we already do here.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for watching, and we will catch up with you soon. Hopefully next time we'll probably not be in that beautifully decorated house of ours, but eventually we will get there. And until then,
Sooner or later, but for now,
we're here. So thanks for watching. See you soon. Bye.
bye.